The moment did not begin inside the building. It began outside, in the streets of Seoul, where traffic slowed to a halt not because of an accident or a protest, but because a crowd had instinctively gathered, phones raised, voices rising, reacting to a presence they could feel before they could fully see. Endless flashes cut through the winter night. Fans pressed along both sides of the road, screaming a name that has long outgrown borders and languages. Kim Taehyung had arrived.
Hey Army! Quick pause before we keep going. If you're loving these BTS updates, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and join our family of global fans. That way, you'll never miss a single record-breaking moment. All right, let's jump back into the story.
By the time his car rolled past the Celine building, waving calmly from the window, the scene had already turned into a spectacle that felt less like a brand event and more like a cultural moment unfolding in real time. Inside, Celine's Year End Party 2025 moved forward as planned, yet the atmosphere shifted the instant Taehyung stepped into the space. This was not simply a celebrity appearance. It was the convergence of global fandom, luxury fashion, and an artist whose influence consistently bends the narrative around him. Elle Korea would later release not one, not two, but 3 separate Taehyung features from that night, an editorial decision that spoke volumes without needing explanation. The material was not pre-scripted, not meticulously storyboarded. According to those involved, the filming was improvised, almost spontaneous, built entirely around Taehyung's instincts in the moment. That lack of rigid structure became the core of the magic. Moving through the Celine space, Taehyung did not perform for the camera in a traditional sense. He interacted with the environment as if it were an extension of his personality. Props in the store became playful tools. Mirrors, lighting, furniture, even empty space were treated as collaborators rather than backdrops. His expressions shifted effortlessly, boyish one second, quietly commanding the next, creating a visual rhythm that felt alive rather than manufactured. It was fashion film as instinct, driven by charisma rather than choreography. What made the moment resonate was not technical perfection, but authenticity. Taehyung's long-established ability to dissolve the barrier between concept and emotion was on full display. Viewers were not watching a luxury ambassador fulfill a contractual obligation. They were watching an artist interpret a brand through his own language, transforming Celine's aesthetic into something warmer, more human, and undeniably his. In an industry often criticized for overproduction, the improvised nature of these films felt refreshing, almost radical. Outside, the crowd continued to swell. Videos from fans showed traffic completely blocked, cars at a standstill as people waited, hoping for a glimpse, a wave, a second of eye contact through tinted glass. When Taehyung acknowledged them from the car window, the reaction was immediate and explosive. The sound alone, captured on shaky phones, told its own story. This was not organized fan attendance, it was collective instinct. People showed up because history had taught them that when Kim Taehyung appears, something memorable usually follows. The phrase "king of Kpop" has been used so frequently online that it risks becoming empty, yet moments like this give it renewed weight.
Hey Army! Quick pause before we keep going. If you're loving these BTS updates, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and join our family of global fans. That way, you'll never miss a single record-breaking moment. All right, let's jump back into the story.
Taehyung's influence does not rely on constant releases or aggressive promotion. It manifests in physical presence, in how space reorganizes itself around him. Brands do not merely host him, they adapt to him. Media outlets do not simply cover him, they expand their coverage because a single angle is never enough. 3 Elle Korea features from one night were not excess, they were a response to demand. Celine's relationship with Taehyung has long existed at the intersection of luxury and individuality. He does not dilute the brand's identity, he refracts it. Through him, Celine becomes softer without losing edge, youthful without losing prestige. At the Year End Party 2025, this dynamic was amplified. The absence of scripts allowed Taehyung's personal rhythm to guide the visuals, resulting in content that felt less like advertising and more like storytelling. Fans watching the footage later responded not with surprise, but recognition. This was Kim Taehyung doing what only he can do, turning improvisation into art, presence into narrative. The online reaction framed the moment not as luck or coincidence, but as proof of an instinctive genius honed over years on global stages. From stadiums to fashion houses, the scale changes, but the effect remains consistent. In the broader context of BTS's global impact, this night stood as a reminder that individual members continue to shape culture, even during periods when group activities are less frequent. Taehyung's appearance was not detached from BTS's legacy, it was an extension of it. The discipline, emotional intelligence, and audience awareness that define BTS as a group are deeply embedded in each member's solo presence. Fashion becomes another language through which that legacy speaks. Year End Party 2025 will not be remembered solely for its guest list or decor. It will be remembered for the night Seoul streets paused, for the unscripted films that felt alive, and for the quiet confidence of an artist who needs no rehearsal to command attention. Kim Taehyung did not just attend Celine's celebration, he became its defining image, reminding the world that true influence does not announce itself loudly. It arrives, waves once from a window, and leaves an echo that lingers long after the crowd finally disperses.